Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering video. So today's video, as it's the 20th of December 2014, is going to be a Christmas present themed video, or more specifically a Magic the Gathering Christmas present themed video. So maybe you've not gone out and bought a present for a fellow Magic player and you're looking for ideas. Maybe your budget's a bit tight, or maybe you don't like the look of the holiday gift set, or the anthology dual decks is rather pricey for the budget you've set yourself. So what I'm going to do is look at putting together a Pack Wars toolkit. I've done videos in the past on this, but I thought it'd be good to revisit this for Christmas and look at some options in putting one of these together. So just for clarity here, just to go through the basic rules of Pack Wars. I accept that there's many variations of Pack Wars that you can play. This is just basically the way that I play it. So in Pack Wars, what you do is each player takes 3 of each colour of land. So that's 3 plains, 3 islands, 3 swamps, 3 mountains and 3 forests. They also each take a booster pack of a given set. In this case we're using 2015, but you could equally choose other sets in Magic. And firstly, remove, when you open those, remove the advert card, which you'll recognise because it doesn't have Magic the Gathering back on it. And then you don't have to look at the cards if you don't want, if that adds to the surprise, and then you just shuffle them up into your land. So set a land and a booster for one player, set of land and a booster for the other. It's your choice if you choose to sleeve those or not. Some people like to keep it simple, don't sleeve at all. There's a couple of reasons why I sleeve up. One is I just find my shuffling is so bad that if I didn't sleeve, I would really trash the cards. And the other reason is that, tied in with that, is that the protection it affords cards if I just happen to get lucky and pull a mythic when I'm opening these boosters. Now, so basically, when beyond putting together the land and the contents of the booster after you've removed the advert card and shuffling all the cards up, you just play Magic like normal. Now, one thing to bear in mind with this is that for certain sets you may have to instigate extra house rules. So for instance, in a few sets there's been cards that have had casting costs where the colours in them, a single colour, may have more than 3 of a particular colour of mana. And say for instance something cost 5 black to cast, you wouldn't be able to cast it unless you got lucky and had pulled a swamp in your booster as well. So there you might have to introduce a house rule which says, if you've got more than 3 of a particular colour of mana in your casting cost, then any additional in that colour, any additional mana in that colour is colourless basically. So then it remains within the 3 mana of that colour that you've got available. Now of course one of the interesting things with Pack Wars is it can take quite a while for the game to get off the ground because you've only got 3 of each colour of land. And like I said, in a set where there's complicated mana costs, sometimes a game of Pack Wars can take a few turns to get underway. That's why I'm particularly fond of using core sets, because they're fairly simple casting wise. So we're just going to put together a kit that you can use here, just show you the different options you've got open to you. Hopefully I'm going to cater for people on lots of different budgets. Now And also I'll explain like what's the lowest common denominator that you need to put this together. Okay, so to me the minimum you could get away with is basically some form of booster or two boosters of some description and the land. Now I'm obviously have land here that I already have, so that's not a problem. But that bit might be trickier. You may have to go to your game store, see if you can get some land off of them. You may have a Magic player you know who's quite willing to give you some basic lands, stuff like that. The alternative, and again I have mentioned this before in another video, I think that's something I called the repack rumble. You could use these things which are repacks instead of the boosters. Now these ones from Dollarama contain 10 magic cards each, but there could be some weird things in here. There could be like tokens or land. So what I suggest people do with these is they take 2 each, because there's 10 in here, and then choose 15 out of the pack. Now it does mean that you're going to know what you're playing, so it spoils the surprise that way. But if you want to keep stuff really low, that would be an option there. So that would be a real bargain basement. Repack Rumble Pack Wars kit would be 4 of these, 2 each, so these are $1 each, so that's $4, and get someone to give you some land basically. You could even pick up one of these deck boxes. These Ultra Pros I've seen sold at dollar stores now for a couple of dollars, so that would keep things, this with this, and you'd have the essence of your Pack Wars kit. But what other options have you've got? Well, let me just put those to one side. So in keeping with our core stuff, we can add sleeves. This particular one, I've not used these Hypermatte clears before. I quite like the idea of having cards protected, but still the ability to still see the back of the Magic card with the actual Magic design on it. The Magic the Gathering Deckmaster design. You could use sleeves like this, which are these are Ultra Pros, I believe, but with the Magic the Gathering branding on them. And these ones you can just pick up from Walmart. These ones here I bought from a game store. So that's the other option. You've got sleeves. You might want to include, if you choose like a deck box like I've got over here. So these deck boxes, I have an Ultra Pro Satin Tower deck box. Now these actually have a dice compartment in the bottom, and so I could put some dice in here as well. If I wanted to do something a little bit cheaper, I could use one of these Ultra Pro nesting deck vaults. So these are made out of metal, and the dice compartment is actually in the lid on this one up here. So that's an option. They're only $5.99, whereas these are around $12 basically. So another way to just keep the price down a little bit, use one of these. You won't be able to get so many dice in because this is a lot larger. This one, these decks, these boxes are designed so these will take a commander size deck. I love these. These are just fantastic. Good and solid. So I'm sort of narrowing this down. So I'm going for a bit of a higher end build on this. So I'm going to use my nice Ultra Pro Satin. I've got my core set. I've got my Hyper Barrier mats here. These are KMC sleeves. And the question of dice. So if you wanted to include some dice in here, I'm going to use things. It's Christmas. We've got some nice sparkly dice here. These are $8, or something like this, these are just regular 6-sided dice. From Chessex is the name of the company that make these. Both of these are available from any game store. You could include other things like those little glass beads, like as counters. When I think if you're buying glass beads, often the best place to get them from is actually a craft shop, because you'll generally find they're a lot cheaper. So we're going to use our nice sparkly dice for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this ready off camera, put it together, and then I'll switch back and you'll see the finished product. So I've now sleeved up the land. We've got our box opened up, ready to go, and just to show you, the dice have gone in the bottom of this, if I can actually get it open. There you go. So there's all the contents of that dice we were looking at earlier in the bottom there. It's a real good tight fit on these. Okay, so here's the contents. So one thing I noticed with these sleeves, which is interesting, I've used these clear sleeves before, and notice these aren't dollar sleeves. These are proper, thick card sleeves. It just so happens that the back of the sleeve is clear. Although I've used totally clear ones before. I can't remember who made those, but these ones, and it's really difficult to it's not really, but I think you can probably just see that they have a slight matte finish on the back there. So the front's clear, but the back has this sort of clear matte finish, and you can feel the difference. The front's smooth and the back does have almost like small ripples on it there. So anyway, there's our sort of two sets of land for each player. So they're both going to go in there. And then we've got a booster each and our spare sleeves, because this particular make of sleeves, you get 80 sleeves in the pack. So there's more than enough there, because you're only going to need 30 sleeves each to sleeve everything up. So we'll put those in as well into here. What you could also do is, if the person wasn't familiar with pack wars, you could include also a little instruction in there, sort of instructions of the rules. So there we have the finished article with everything inside, and as I showed you, the dice in the bottom. There we have it. I suppose you could do this, the Mark II Pack Wars Toolkit. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.